My husband and I, we are both in the tech industry, and we are a family of four. We have two daughters, and we live in the California Bay Area, and we've been grappling with high taxes and the kind of the uncertainty of the stock market, and some years we do really well, and the taxes from that have always been so difficult for us to manage. The tax code is pretty complicated, and so we have been trying to make our income work for us,
Mhm.
but it's been a challenge from that perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Very good. Thanks for sharing that. And as far as timing for you to come to work with us, what does this timing look like? Like, was that something you were looking for a while, or how did all this came together?
Yeah, so we had a pretty significant bump in our income actually as of 2022. And so we have been looking for a good tax accountant for a long time, since 2022. In fact, even before then, but really the rubber met the road in 2022 for us. And finding somebody really competent and knowledgeable, just to be able to even do our taxes, was a challenge. And then we had to talk about tax savings. So for a long time, we didn't know how to reduce our tax burden because we didn't run a business. We were not interested in starting one. We didn't want to do anything risky. We didn't even want to invest in a second home because we needed to protect our income and the risk that came from any other strategies. So number one, we needed somebody competent to work with on our tax returns, and number two, we needed good, genuine tax advice. But we've been looking since 2022, and it's taken us this long to find you guys.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get it, and it's my fault. I wasn't able to reach you faster. I think, but hey, we've been fixing the issue since 22, right? So we didn't leave it behind. So that's a
That's
good
right.
thing.
That's right.
I guess what stood up working with my team while you've been with us since you got started?
Yeah, so I think what I really liked was the comprehensive approach. Um, what your team has done for us is not just be reactive, but you've also been proactive. So um, kind of helping us taking charge of our tax returns and our tax strategy. That's the reactive piece, but the proactive piece about going back and amending things, making sure that we can look ahead to next year and be able to plan appropriately is has been a huge value add for us.
Right, right. It's awesome. And as far as I'm going to share here, between 22 to 24, we're able to save about 399,000. This year, for 2025, we just filed your 25. You were supposed to pay another 400,000 in taxes, but instead, you're actually getting a 600,000 in refund, and we still have some carry forward that's going to generate about net of 1.2 million in tax savings. With that said, what is this impact going to be for you, your family? How are you going to use this going
Yeah.
forward?
Yeah. So the thing is, so in terms of how we will use this, we are going to be able to put away all of the funds that we need for our kids' education. We're going to be able to put away funds for their weddings,
Mhm.
if and when they decide to go down that path, and then put away a healthy chunk into our retirement. So we can now look to investing this money and having it grow, meaning in a meaningful way for our futures. Um, and then and then it just puts us in a really good place for what we can do with whatever's to come. So any future, high income that we can expect, we know that we can offset the tax burden from that. So now we can actually meaningfully plan for our retirement. There's that. The tax uh, the tax thing has just been such an anxiety causing thing for us because we've always grossly underestimated and always had to pay more. So it's always
Mhm.
set our plans back to put away this money. But now we can always go forward with a good ballpark figure, and we know that we can kind of carve out funds for all of these areas.
Right, right. Awesome. And as far as, who you would recommend us, if somebody came to you and was asking questions, how would you recommend us? And because a lot of people are like, oh, this is too good to be true. How would you respond to that?
Yeah, actually, I would encourage my friends to, because when people think taxes, they're always just thinking tax returns.
Mm,
So this notion of actually doing proper tax planning is just not out there among my friend circle. So tax planning tends to be something that is for the ultra wealthy because because they have they can take the risk, and so risky tax strategies have always been around, right? So I would say uh, how to use your services, I would say to my friends, there is a way to do proper tax planning um, in a way that is not risky, and
mm,
there's a strategy out there for everybody. So don't just think about taxes as a tax return time, or tax filing time rather, but think about it as an ongoing planning activity that you can take on, and you can design it any way that's appropriate for you, right? Whatever your risk profile is, you can design it in that way.
yeah.
So yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I mean, just a couple minutes ago, we were talking about planning for 2026. It's only April, but that's the beauty of us working together is that we don't wait for next April to talk about what happened last year. So just
Yeah,
the fact
true.
of these discussions happening on a regular basis, I think is where we can meet you where you are and really walk with you through the process. And you don't necessarily have to have a business to be able to take advantage of all any strategies. You're a high W2 earner, and so it still applies to you. And so I really appreciate you doing this, Anu, and looking forward for us to continue this for years to come. But thanks for taking the time to talk to
My
me.
pleasure. Yeah.
Awesome.